Hello everyone, greetings guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Masana Wagarecords and thank you so much for clicking on the video. So if you are new here, welcome to my channel. We have conversations about navigating life here. We also have conversation related to the Christian faith. So if you think you may be interested in something related to that, please consider subscribing to my channel. And thank you so much for my returning 40 subscribers. I'm grateful for your support, guys. Thank you so much for coming back. So on today's video, I will be sharing with you how I am navigating friendships in my early 30s as an adult who is working 9 to 5 job, and also as an adult who does not have kids, and I'm also not married. So I'm just going to share like basic things that I'm doing that helps me to navigate my friendships better. So for the context of this video, the friendships I'm referring to are my female friendships. So a friendship is just basically explained as a close relationship between two people, same gender or opposite genders, that share the common interest and also enjoy spending time together. So just to give a background, I have different groups of friends. Most of my friends are my childhood friends. I did not make them this one. God chose them for me and He just deposited them in my life, and to this day I'm still grateful. And I also have friends that I made on campus, and also some friends that I'm making right now as a corporate person working 9 to 5 in my early 30s, like I have said. So I'm a beneficiary of good friendships. I have got good women in my life. My female friendships are not perfect like any other relationship, obviously, but I'm still grateful for them. And I also have an experience as well of friendship heartbreak, if I will call it that. It's painful as they explain it to be, but with all that, I still believe in female friendships. I still believe that given a chance and grace enough, like in other relationships, it could thrive and obviously become better. So now when I reflect back and to check the things that I did not do well in my relationships and with my girlfriends, especially when I was younger in the late teens and early 20s, there's some mistakes that I know that I contributed towards the heartbreak or towards the not so good experiences in my female friendships. Number one being the lack of intentionality from my side. So like I said, most of my friends are my childhood friends. So we just grew up together. Of course, we'll have differences there and there, but I don't have a good memory of us being intentional with each other. We just vibed like that. We just connected like that until we became adults. So I don't remember myself being intentional like that in my friendships. I will be the person that if you keep quiet, I will be quiet. You come back, we continue like nothing happened. And even if we did not fight, I just don't have a memory of me seeing someone being quiet and reaching out first to say, hey, is everything okay, or things related to that. So I do believe that when it comes to maybe certain unpleasant experiences, that may have been my contribution, but that was in my late teens, like I said, and also in my early 20s. And the other thing that I also struggled with back then was struggling to let go of a friendship that has come to an end. It's not easy to come to that point of thinking this person will never be your friend again. I think a lot. I don't want to say I'm living in my head, but I do think a lot. So you keep on kind of overplaying what could have went wrong, or I wish I did this better, or I wish this, or did I offend them, whatever the case may be. So I also feel like I kind of hold myself back as well from maybe experiencing other great things in friendships because I could not let go of certain friendships that have come to an end. So those are the few mistakes that I can think of right now as I reflect back in my girlfriends relationships when I was younger. Now that we're here, I've learned from those mistakes. I've grown obviously from them. I've matured to become a better individual, to become a better adult. So on the next part of the video, I'm just going to share the basic things that I'm doing right now as I navigate my female friendships. So the first thing is I define my friendships. Like I said, most of my friends, I grew up with them, and some of them I met on campus. So how I relate with those groups of friends and how I relate with the friends that I met at work or friends that I'm making now that I'm working, it's kind of different. I will still be the same person, but of course I show up differently depending on the kind of bond and the kind of relationship that we have built over the years. So this helps to manage expectations from my side and also from their side as well. You can now tell how you can show up for the other person, and also how you expect them to show up in your life as well. It does not only help with managing expectations, but also helps with creating boundaries. Maybe it's one and the same thing, in the sense that, for example, if I'm getting married, I know is one group of friends that are going to know first that, okay, this person is getting married, than a certain group of friends. It does not mean that I love the other group more than the other one. I love them both, but differently, if that makes sense. And because I define these relationships, I know what is expected of me from different groups of friendships. I hope that makes sense. So on the next point of how I'm navigating my friendships, my female friendships as an adult, will be understanding that we will never be in the same season at the same time. Like, at different seasons of life requires a different versions of us. We are no longer in high school. We are no longer on campus. So life will never be the same like then. Some are thriving in career, some are thriving in motherhood, some just got married. And life just requires like a different version of us. And this is more applicable to my closest best friends, the one that we have been together since I was younger, the one that I have a lot of memories with, whether from church or from school. But you just understand that we will never be mothers at the same time. We won't be thriving in careers at the same time. We're not going to get married at the same time. So when the other one is exiting the motherhood journey, the other one is entering. And it just keeps going like that. So understanding that we will never be at the same time, because that time it looked like, okay, we can do stuff together, we can go to that all night prayer, we can do this, we can do that, but things now is no longer the same. So trying by all means to understand that, it helps for you to navigate your friendships better. I know some of the friendships may not survive these seasons, but for my case, we did survive by the grace of God. So you're kind of involved in the biggest milestones and events in their life. It's not like you're no longer their friend. It's just that how you're relating with this friend is no longer the same. Even the amount of time that you're going to spend together won't be the same anymore. That 1 hour, minute phone call may be 20 minutes every now and then, with that distraction here and there, because like we're in different careers as well. So understanding that as long as we are friends, we still share common, I would say, basic interest in each other, being in each other's life. Understanding that I will never be at the same season as my friends, like at the same time. It helps me to navigate my friends. It also helps as well to manage expectations from them, because someone that is having a 1-year-old baby and someone that has a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, they may not show up in my life the same way, because they have different demands of life. So with the next point, it's not something that I struggle with, but it's something that I thought of sharing, that it may help someone, which is, do not be possessive of your friends. I don't think I am capable of being everything that all my friends need in all the seasons of their life. I don't think it's practically possible. I do believe God blessed us with a community for a reason. And the fact that I can be so and so's friend and also be so and so's friend, and I'm still one person, it means my friend as well can be a friend with another person at the same time being my friend, because I know that how she relate with the other person, because I also know that how she relate with the other person and how she relate with me may not be exactly the same, because I have different needs and she also has different needs. I'm not my friend's mentors, I'm not their pastors. So they may be closer, they may even find a friend maybe in their youth pastor or in their pastor church, whatever the case may be. But what I'm trying to say is to not be possessive of your friends. Like I said, I don't have kids yet. So there are certain things my friend can never draw knowledge and wisdom when it comes to parenting, that they may need to go to the other friend as well. And there are certain things that, yes, common sense can help me, but I do believe there are certain things that it's only graced in having experience in that thing. So yeah, I'm not possessive of my friend, and it's something that I think it can help someone who may find it difficult to share a friend, that it's okay for your friend to have another friend. You can't be everything in all seasons of life. There are times you also need help. There are times you need to reach out for help as well. So yeah, that's one thing that I think we should be mindful of, more especially in our female friendships. And then going on the next point, which is the most important one, I pray for my friends. I navigate friendships by praying for them. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, I pray for them every day. No, but I pray for them, I don't want to say almost every day. I think the everyday prayers that I can pray for them, it's that one of a collective prayer of saying, I pray for my friends. I pray that may they be productive today. Pray for their homes, pray for their businesses without having to mention them one by one. But I do also create time where I mention them one by one. I'll be praying for maybe the other friend, considering on how I think her needs may be. Or sometimes I'm even aware of what she's praying for, what she needs in that season of life. So I do pray for my friend. That's another one that I know is very important, and I use that as well to navigate my friendships by praying for them, by telling God about them, by praying with them for whatever that they may be believing in God for. And I was actually privileged this other time that I was praying for my friend, and I just kind of received it in prayer that this one friend in particular is expecting a baby. So it felt so good that I was just praying for my friend, but for this one, I just kind of knew that, okay, this one, I think she may be pregnant before she even told me that she's pregnant. So that privilege of praying for the journey of pregnancy, even before she comes to announce it, I think for me it was a beautiful experience. So yeah, I do pray for my friends. The next point will be showing up for my friends. I'm not yet at the point where I will say that, you know what, I'm doing it. I think I can still do better in that part. Showing up can be physically or maybe emotionally and financially if you can, just by reaching out to your friend every now and then to say hi to them. I think my friend have been doing so well in that part. I feel like I should do better. But yeah, I do show up for my friends. It's one thing to pray for someone, but when you're telling them on a conversation that, hey, I'm praying for you, or maybe you ask them that, is there anything that we believe God for in this season of your life that we can pray together? And yeah, just also kind of showing up to say that I think about you. You cross my mind when I'm praying, and if there's a need for you to physically be there to assist them with something as well, to also do that. Like I said, I wouldn't say that I'm doing my best, especially in the physical showing up part of it. But yeah, I think I can do better. But that's another way that we can navigate our female friendships. Next point, which is also very important, is to be gracious, to extend grace to my friends. My friends are not my family members, most of them. We are raised in different households. We just met most of them in school, also at church, meaning that we are not going to do things the same way. They tolerate me. There are certain things in me that they have also learned to live with it, even though maybe they did not like it initially. So for me to be conscious of also extending grace to my friends, it has been a game changer. You end up cutting off people for things that could have been spoken about. You end up cutting people off for things that could have been avoided sometimes, things that people don't really have to change. I'm not saying that we should tolerate toxic friends. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that some of these things that you now reflect back, you feel like that was not worth cutting someone off. It was just not worth it. So to extend grace, to learn to accept people, and to know that it's not everything in us that we may be able to change. Certain things in us are just part of who we are. So if that does not in any way make your life hard, or it makes you uncomfortable, it makes the relationship unhealthy, then just extend grace and accept people and just love them, forgive them. We are very good in forgiving other kind of friendships or relationships, but in this one for female friendships, I think we should do better. So I am being gracious to my friends as well, because I know that they are definitely extending the same level of grace unto me as well. And the next point, which will be the last one, will be to learn to accept that some friends are not meant to last forever. Friendship heartbreak is very painful. I know every other heartbreak is painful, but this one is part of those ones. I think it may be because for the longest time I thought it's supposed to be perfect. So it will be hard for me to let go of certain friends that maybe we cannot be friends anymore for different reasons. If you have the luxury, if you have the grace to end things amicably, maybe when you can talk about it, to ask what is it that I did wrong, and so maybe you can improve on that so that you can be a good friend to the remaining friends you have, then well and good. But unfortunately, because this is life, sometimes you may not have that opportunity to end things in a good way like that. But for whatever the case may be, to avoid drama where you can, and allow certain season to come to an end. It's not an easy thing to do. There are a lot of questions that I would have as well, considering the experience that I have. Questions that maybe I may never get answers from. Questions that I may never get answers for. Like I may never get that closure that I thought I'm supposed to have. And this does not mean in any way that the other friend was always wrong. It may have been my fault as well. But like I said, it's something that even if I'm the one that wronged them, and they have every right not to take me back, even if they want to forgive me, to allow for that experience to happen, to allow for that season to come to an end, it's such a good thing. Some friends, you just kind of fizzle out, you just kind of grow apart, nothing happens, and that's all and good. This can also happen as well during that time of transitioning from high school to college, where you meet other friends. And for some friends, they can kind of reconnect again, but for some, it may be the end of it. So just to accept that certain friends are not going to be part of our lives forever. So they have every right to cut me off as well, as much as I may have certain reasons not to be their friend anymore. But learning to kind of allow that experience to happen. It has not been the easiest thing to do, but that's how I'm also navigating my female friendships, just to understand that maybe they were supposed to be here for these 5 years of my life, and they can't be here for the next 10 or 15. And also for myself in their life, I was supposed to be there maybe for the first 10 years of us meeting, and from that 10, I'm not supposed to be there. It's not an easy thing to do. It's easier said than done. But yeah, it's how I'm also navigating my friendship, so that I become a better friend. That was the last point I had, and that's how I'm navigating my female friendships. Like I said, they are not perfect. They can still be worked on to become better, obviously, like any other relationship that I've said. And I think it's something that if we really work on, it could thrive to become even more better and have more great like experiences in our friendships. So if we are sharing the same sentiment, please share on the comment section. Let's engage so that we can learn to become better friends. We can get to reflect on the things that we're not doing well in our friendship group, so that we can improve on those things to create a more better experiences in our groups. And thank you so much for watching the video until this point. And if you have not subscribed already, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and share. Your support really goes a long way. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.